In the last video, we had a look at an overall workflow for YouTube for a solopreneur or even someone who's got a VA, as well as someone who's got potentially a video editor and someone who's writing a blog article and some social media for them. But we didn't go into the depths of detail in terms of who does what, how it happens, who's accountable for what, and what processes go in which order. And if you really want to become the CEO of your business and you want to grow this unit whilst you're growing your business elsewhere, this video, we're going to go into the details of exactly how to go about doing that. Now, you can go about it as hiring a team, or you can actually do it yourself. But what we're gonna find out is when you actually see exactly what needs to be done, you're gonna understand why you run around like crazy when you're going to be trying to do absolutely everything. Are we ready to get on with this one? Let's go. Hit it. Remember, this is part 2 of my entire YouTube workflow. I'm gonna go ahead and call it a course because that's for all intents and purposes, that's exactly what it is. It's a course where I'm talking through and walking through my entire YouTube workflow from start to finish. How do you go about building a YouTube channel? Now, I'm not talking here from any higher ground. I'm talking here from someone who's actually going through the journey myself. And I think that that's what hopefully is gonna make this a little bit different, because I'm gonna walk you through all the stages, my struggles as a solopreneur. I'm not putting any investment in here whatsoever. I'm not gonna sort of like throw money at it and say, let's grow this that fast, because a lot of people can say, hey, let's throw a billion trillion pounds at it and sort of like see, you know, if we can make an amazing channel. But that's not what we're gonna do. We're going to go through the stages, but we are gonna hire. And that's how you grow a business. We're going to say, right, as we're bringing in some income inside our business, we're going to invest it into that. And that's what I actually did. Was as I was having my own services inside my business, I help other entrepreneurs grow and scale their businesses. And as I was helping them and their revenue came in, I started using that to reinvest back into the business so that I can hire out different people inside the business, as well as outsource certain tasks so that we can actually, as CEOs of our own business, focus on actually growing the business. Otherwise, if I was going to sit there in a hamster wheel, running around, I'm not going to be able to achieve anything. I'm not going to bring in any revenue. I'm not going to grow the business, and then we're just going to be stuck. And that's what a lot of people do. And they shriek at me and they say, Tamer, how are you hiring all these people? Where are you bringing this money from? How are you doing this? How is it possible? You grow a business and you use your revenue and you invest a certain part of the budget back into it, a little bit at a time. But what this video is also about is actually a little bit more important. What I'm going to do is, instead of now distributing tasks and roles amongst people, I'm actually going to distribute them amongst functions. Amongst actually, this is what needs to be done, and this are the things that are the items that need to be done with people with certain expertise or specialities. If they can do them, great. If not, then we're going to have to do it ourselves or find other people to wear a couple of hats until we have enough money to go ahead and do that. So if you had a look last time and actually see what we covered in the video, we went from burnt out solopreneur who's literally doing everything. This was an entire overview. If you haven't watched the last video, please do go and actually watch it, because it sort of walks you through that process, and this will make a lot more sense. Otherwise, you're going to go, whoa, what's going on here? I'm showing you flowcharts and ridiculous numbers of like loops and stuff like that. Go and watch the other video and come back. And also, what I suggest you do is actually save these videos into your watch later list, because you're going to want to keep coming back to them. I'm also at the end of this going to tell you how you can download completely for free a cheat sheet with all of these processes in there for you, so you can track it in and actually put it up. And coming soon, the next set of videos, we're going to talk about how we implement this inside ClickUp, which is our project management system. And I'm going to give you the templates to be able to download and do that as well. So please subscribe, because a lot of videos are going to come, and hit the like button if you're finding this to be a lot of value. So burnt out solopreneur did this. If I was doing this, just business will not grow. So then after that, I said, right, hire a VA, hire an assistant, try and get them to do everything. Again, it doesn't work because you don't have the right systems and processes in place. In some cases, you find the right person who will run around like a hamster with you. but also they're still not taking enough of the load off of you so that you at the end are able to grow your business and position yourself, because that VA is not going to have the creative expertise to be able to come up with a professional looking video if they're going to do the editing for you. So you're still going to have to end up doing the editing, so on and so forth. So VA, I realized, is not going to work from day one. So what I kind of did from day one was this, and I went through and I got an editor outsourced, and I got a content repurposing team, Content 10x, outsourced, and that's what we ended up doing, where essentially it was pretty much a black box. I did the video, I sent it to them, I said, hey, please edit, please repurpose, send it back to me for sign off and reviews, and away we go. But then in a lot of cases that's fine, but in some cases actually that also works out to be a little bit more expensive than if you were to start hiring some people in-house to do some of the tasks for you, or at least you know that you do some of the tasks yourself, or hire out, even outsourced and hire out part-time by the hour, other people that can do different aspects. It's better than having a black box solution. So I thought, actually, now as this business is expanding and I really want to grow this channel as a case study, but also I really want to grow this channel. So if we can do that, then basically what we can do is essentially say, right, let's actually look at all of the roles and the tasks that need to be done. Let's actually understand what's going on, because I had no oversight in terms of certain things that were happening. The hashtag searches were not basically what I wanted them to be, so on and so forth. So these are the kind of things where I wanted to understand who's accountable for what, where the decisions are getting made, so on and so forth. The next stage, which was after that, as we said, was essentially the video producer, where I let a sort of an amount of creative control into a video editor, content repurposing, had a content writer, and I got some interns to help me in-house. Right, now, that was where we ended the last video. This is where we're going to start this video, where I basically said, right, okay, what are the roles and the tasks that need to be done? I might not hire all of these people from day one, but this is what I want. And this is what you should be doing for your business. You map out, actually, where is your business in a year's time? Or actually, where is your business in 3 years' time? And actually say, if this is where my business is in 3 years' time, here is the function tree. If you have a look at the essential functions video, where I talk about the essential functions inside your business, I talk to you through how you actually can go about mapping out the functions inside your business, as well as an organizational structure. Let's call it a people plan. So what is your people plan, and actually be able to do that? And I also give you a way where you can download for free a sort of a guide where it can walk you through being able to do that on that video. Essentially, I want, if we grow this channel to the size that I want it to have a channel manager with an executive assistant for me, a video producer, a video editor, a content writer, a social media manager who does the social media, a data analyst who sits there and analyzes the data. Remember, these are roles that I want to potentially have in the future. I might not necessarily have a data analyst now. I might have an intern do the analysis for me. I might do it myself, or get the channel manager to do that. But I understand that this is actually something that needs to be done at some point, so I'm going to list it down, as well as a graphic designer and some interns to help me go around. And basically, what happened from where we left off, where it was an almost CEO with interns, video production, and content repurposing, what we ended up having is this: the CEO, your channel management, basically digital marketing, so we can actually do the right messaging, social media, research and analytics, as well as video production, copy that needs to be written, as well as graphics. Now, once we mapped out all of the processes of what we needed inside the business, this is what it looks like. But don't be scared. I know it looks sort of like confusing and complicated. I'm going to walk you through one by one in terms of what each one does. And remember, if you want to map out your own processes as well, all you need to do is literally log down the steps that you're taking. Just write them down and say, we did this, and then we did this, and then we did this. We couldn't do this until we were waiting on this guy to actually give us some information. So this had to happen first, and then we had to do this, and then we had to do that. It's as simple as that. And then basically when you do it, you map it all out, and then you say, this is my process. What's working, what's not working, who is responsible for what, and how can we improve and change these things? So again, remember, everything starts with strategy, everything starts with purpose. I, as now the CEO, input the company strategy. I used to do the YouTube's strategy, but what I want to do is I want to pass that over to the channel manager, who then takes over the strategy behind the YouTube channel. I then do a go, no go review, where I say, yes, this strategy is working. Yes, we should actually continue with this channel, or actually let's put the strategy in a different direction. So once that happens, that's where my go no go review basically happens. Apart from that, I should be handing over a lot of the other stuff to the channel manager to give them accountability and responsibility. If I'm doing channel management up until then that's my accountability and responsibility. Notice, I am always keeping on saying it several times, it doesn't necessarily have to be a person, two different people now. It could be the same you, it can be the same person, but you need to understand that actually I'm not doing my job here right at the moment, I'm doing someone else's job. So once that happens, that then goes to myself, the channel manager, digital marketing, social media, as well as research people with the analytics to come back with some ideas in terms of what's trending, what are good ideas that fit with the strategy, my expertise, experience, so on and so forth. That then goes through to SEO research with the research and analytics, and I'm still getting my interns to do that at the moment, by the way, but that's actually then going to slowly move into a role, a part-time role, where somebody comes in to do that as the channel grows and as the business itself grows as well. It needs to make financial sense. You can't sit there and just throw money and say, let me hire everyone from day one. It's not going to work. But at the same time, if you sit there and be scared of hiring people, your channel and your business is not going to grow either. And it's finding that right balance about when to hire and when to invest money and how much to invest, so that you know that the ROI, the return on your investment coming back, is really sort of multiple times over what you're putting in. That's when you say, right, I need to hire. Also, you potentially hire where you say, right, actually, I'm going to invest some money in here now because my time is more valuable than that. And if I have 4 extra hours per week that I can actually do something else in to grow and bring in more revenue or build my business even more, then that can actually overcome that. And that's exactly one of the things that's happening, where you potentially say, right, I'm going to pay £500 to get this video edited, to get this repurposed, to get this and this and this and this, but actually those 10 hours or 20 hours I would have spent, I spend with bringing in revenue that's actually worth 20, 30, 40,000 pounds. And then the £500 investment becomes like a really good deal and a really good investment that you're doing. So that's when basically the SEO research happens. It goes back to the channel management who do a go, no go review. And they basically say, let's do this idea or not. That then goes to a whole bunch of different functions or people. If you're having, let's assume now we've got a person in each of these, but like I said, again, it doesn't have to be, but I'm now going to assume that I've got one person doing each of these roles to keep it sort of this video easier for me to talk through. So for example, now the channel manager will start looking at affiliate links and sponsorships. So that's their responsibility as well. They need to start looking at how we can actually bring in revenue if we're using YouTube as a product revenue generating stream, which we are. In the future. So there we'll be looking at affiliate links, we'll be looking at potential sponsors, and how that particular idea or topic will go into a playlist placement. Now, from the beginning, before we've even shot anything, we need to start looking at a couple of things: the titles and the tags that we're going to actually target, so that the video can rank and so that it is clickable. Now, what makes a video clickable? It's the title and the thumbnail. And we've been doing a lot of testing with both of these things to be able to try and understand, is this title and thumbnail going to make people who are strange people who don't necessarily know who I am click on it or not? Because if they do, and the more they do, then actually after that, essentially what's going to happen is YouTube starts promoting your video even more. That's the sort of the titles and the tags and the thumbnail, but the research and analytics will also go back and research the topic, see if there are any interesting things to talk about, to build, to quote people, other videos, but also competitor research. What are other thumbnails looking like? What are other titles looking like? What's happening in this? Is this a trending area or not? And how do we actually make sure that, if it is, how do we make sure that our titles and our thumbnails and our actual content as well is actually competitive and adds a lot of value? Once all of that happens at the top here, that goes to basically copy, who will do an outline or a script. And like I said in my last video, I don't do a script, but you can if you want to. I sit there and outline myself. So I myself am also considering bringing in a copywriter who will then write the outline and for the actual video. And I've actually already done that in the past. But like I said, in most cases, I'm the one who writes the outline at the moment because I get all of this information and I sit there and write it out. But let's assume for this video that this is now an extra person. That then goes through to a go, no go review with the channel manager. So the channel manager who's managing the channel basically is responsible for the strategy, making sure that the idea is a go, no go. And then we still have a go, no go process after we've done our research, after we've identified, is this thumbnail going to be competitive? Do we have a good title and tag? Is it going to be competitive? Do we have enough affiliates, links and sponsorships? Is it going to fit within our overall playlist placement? Is the outline actually any good so that we can be providing value to the target audience and YouTube and sponsors potentially? So all of that then comes to a go, no go review. If all of that is great, then essentially what happens is we go through and say, right, let me film. So I will film the A roll, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm filming this, and I will take some photos for the thumbnail with, you know, funny poses like this, and I'm not going to do any more. But anyway, we do like these kind of poses so that they can potentially go into the thumbnail. That then up here will go straight through to essentially the narrative edit. And I talked about this in the past in the other video, where the narrative edit is done by the video production. They will cut a rough draft so that they can pass it to the rest of the team, so that the rest of the team can work off of it in parallel, so that they can basically do the blogs, they can do the social media copy, so on and so forth. Because they don't know, up until the point that I record, I'm not one of these people that has a script. If we had a script, then that could have gone potentially to other people who can then do the social media and the copy. But you know me, I don't go off of a script. I just sit there and just talk and then annoy everyone because what was given to me to say, I say something completely different, and all of that was a waste of time. No, it wasn't. I don't go off of script. I mean, what I do is, like, we have the outline bullet points, and what I do is I just record. I look at each point and I record, and I look at the next point and I record. In some cases, I will record a full stretch, like what I'm doing here with this particular video, where I'm just going all the way through, because I've got actually the points in front of me as we're going through step by step. I can see them, so I don't need to stop and record. So that then goes also through to the graphic designer who will do the thumbnail design. The narrative edit goes through to the copywriter who then will write the blog post, down to the social media copy, down to the email that goes out to the newsletters and the subscribers, and the YouTube description. As well as here, up here, the social media manager will then say, these are the teaser timestamps that I need from the video editor to be able to actually do some of these short videos and teaser videos that you see on social media that I have, which is like on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. They're like 1 minute long, 30-second long, 15-second long, depending on the platform. We will take these timestamps out and we will basically do these clips. And what happens is that once the social media manager will basically have a look and see what's happening with the from the narrative edit, which is the rough draft cut, then they will basically say, these are the clips that we need. That will feed back in, as you'll see in a second, to two different things. So that feeds into the social media copy, and it will also feed into the social media graphics, and it will feed into later on the final edit. Why? Is because we want the social media copy to be written based on the teasers and the timestamps, as well as the graphics that will happen are based on some of the teasers and the timestamps that we have. In the meantime, I am basically doing retakes if necessary, filming any B-roll, anything that's potentially needed from me, having a review process. That's going back and forth between me and the video producers and the video editor, Justina and Laura. They're amazing, and basically they will sit there until I'm happy and they're happy, and then it will go through to final edit, where it comes to me with a video go no go review. Now that's the only go no go that I am implementing for myself inside the business. I don't want to have go no go on terms of the actual channel itself. Within the YouTube channel, I sit in as a team member. I don't sit in as actually someone who is heading up the actual unit for YouTube. And that's what I want to be able to do within my businesses. Different parts will have different teams, and I will form them based on that. The only thing here is why I wanted the video go no go review was I wanted to be, this was me in front of camera, in front of my audience, and I wanted to make sure that I was presenting the information that I had correctly and the value was really, really there to the audience, such as yourself. And basically, that's where I stop my review process. And I wanted to take a lot of the accountability and a lot of the review structure out of my control and pass it and delegate it onto channel management. If that's me now, great. If not, actually what's happened is we've moved channel management over to my video producer who's doing that at the moment. But then soon, as the channel grows, I'm looking to bring in a dedicated channel manager when it makes financial and business sense. Not yet. So that's what's going on with this at the moment. Once all of this happens, it all feeds back into the channel manager, including the video, including the transcript, because once I go, basically I say go for the video, that's when the transcript gets done and the social media teasers get cut, because in case they weren't the final edited version at the time, that's basically what will happen back then. We go through the go no go review, and then what happens after that is the social media manager will schedule the social media posts, the channel manager will upload the video to YouTube, schedule it, and then go through a pre-broadcast checklist where he or she, in this case she, will basically check absolutely everything and make sure that everything is in order before we've launched the video. Proofreading, looking at the video, making sure everything is working, and there's a full checklist where you go through and make sure everything is in order so that nothing has been left or missed out or not working. That then goes to broadcast. Once we've broadcast, that then immediately goes through. For me, I will share on social media on my accounts. I will also do a live Instagram story, monitor the channel and social media, and comment for the first hour. After that, it's no longer my responsibility. I used to do generate the backlinks and the SEO. That's now moved on to digital marketing, and basically the social media person will comment on channel, do the LinkedIn video post. Was the bane of my life was I had to actually upload that manually every single time. I'm bringing in a social media manager actually starting from next week, and she will be able to take that and she can do that, and thank you very much, I don't want to do that anymore. And then she will monitor social and comment consistently beyond the first hour. So if you want to get me to respond, make sure that you comment below in the first hour. Subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can make sure that you are there when my videos come out, as soon as they come out, because as soon as they come out, that's where I'm there. You can ask me whatever questions you want. I am happy to answer questions in the first hour, so feel free to ask me anything you want to know. Right, still with me? Once that happens, the channel manager will also maintain looking at the channel on social media and comment. Basically the social media manager is responsible for commenting on social media platforms. The channel manager will be responsible after my first hour for actually looking at the YouTube channel itself in terms of comments and engagement, so on and so forth. And once all of that happens, that then goes down to analytics. So the research and analytics will look at the analytics, look at the audience retention, so on and so forth. I've done a couple of videos on that where I have done it in the past. Now one of my interns is doing it, and after that it will, when the time is right, is to bring in someone as an employee to be able to do that on a part-time basis. Not yet, but it's happening very soon as the business grows. And this is what I want you to keep on thinking throughout the entire process of you growing a business or growing your YouTube channel. You look at it as a unit in terms of, if I'm going to grow this thing, I need to understand that all of these processes that I need to do, there is no way that I can sit there and actually do it consistently day in, day out, unless it is my full-time dedicated job where I am a full-time YouTuber, and I'm not. But if I'm a full-time YouTuber from the beginning, then maybe that's the thing that you need to do, because there is no other source of income coming in. However, if you're doing this as a business that is trying to grow your YouTube channel so that you can promote yourself, then you are potentially generating revenue in from a different revenue stream. And once you get that revenue stream coming through, then what you need to be doing is scaling up as quickly as possible. So you need to understand, right, who is it that I need to bring in first that will give me the biggest value in terms of impact, allow me to have more time, allow me to have less control over this, where I can actually trust the person to delegate to so that they can get things done, or delegates to other people to get things done. What I want to do is I want to have my channel manager delegating to the other team, where I don't need to now sit there and talk to the social media person, talk to the other person. And if that means your VA does that role temporarily whilst you have an editor, fine. Have a VA, make sure that you pick a really good VA who can actually project manage, who can actually sit there and talk to people and have the initiative to chase things down and say, right, you can be the channel manager for now. And what I would like you to do is, when you speak to the video editor, when you speak to the content writer, when you speak to the social media person, I want you to make sure that all of this is in order. And how we do that is we do that in ClickUp, and we do that in a lot of different other ways. So stick around. The next video is going to be all about how we manage this inside ClickUp. Now, if you have a look down below, there's going to be a link down below where you can go and you can download a template of this flowchart and this workflow so that you can see it. I'm providing it, this is how we use it in-house. I'm providing it to you for absolutely for free. You don't need to pay anything for it. You can download it and you can take from it what you want and adapt it to yourself and adapt it to your channel. There are roles and things here that you can be doing yourself, and there are things here that you can offload and delegate to other people, and that's up to you entirely who you delegate it to and who you offload it onto and what you do yourself. So stick around. Like I said, next video, ClickUp, and we're going to be doing all of that, and we're going to be looking at a template, and I'm going to also be sharing the template. The videos after that, we're going to start breaking down each of these groups in terms of like coming up with the idea. How do we actually come up with ideas for YouTube? How do we go about researching the topics? How do we go about making sure that we pick the right titles and tags? How do we then actually, beyond that, film and edit, what my equipment is going to be, how we go through back and forth, all of these processes, and so much more. So if you're still with me, thank you for sticking around. I hope it's been a lot of value for you. Please write down in the comments below. In the first hour, remember, please write down in the comments below. Even if it's not in the first hour, I'm still coming in and checking secretly, and I'm commenting as well. It's actually me up until now, until I get someone else to do it. So write down in the comments below what you found to be of great value. Has this made you think about how you're producing and making your videos differently in any way? I'd love to hear in the comments below. Please hit the like and the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because the next video is going to be ClickUp for my YouTube workflow. I'll see you next time.